Thanks everybody for joining me. Let's just jump right in. Kidneys. So we've been hearing a lot about kidneys this weekend and in cryonics research. Why is kidney research prioritized over direct brain research in cryonics? So this may be obvious to you guys, but to a lot of cryonics members I talk to, they're actually confused why kidneys is the main source of what we do.
We work on whole organisms. Obviously, when you're conducting research, you need to simplify the problem in some way. One way is to kind of break up the body into the different organs and treat it that way. Our simplification is to work on smaller organisms, but that whole organism. For me, I think, a major fear of mine is always that we'll go down a path that will be a dead end and not be able to translate to some later stage that we want to go down. A fear of mine of focusing on individual organs. And to take a step back, so my goal would be cryonics of a whole body. So I'd want to preserve the brain and all of the organs together. And a fear of mine would be if you're optimizing one organ, then perhaps that might not translate well to the whole body. So we're starting with the whole organism, which will include the brain, does include the brain. But obviously we're needing to simplify, and ours is going small.
And I believe you're starting with zebrafish?
That's right. Really small.
Any ideas about ways in which we could attract more cryobiologists? Or even kind of what do you see as the reason why they wouldn't be attracted to this field? I mean, I guess it's obvious why they might not be attracted to cryonics specifically for the reasons very few people are. But
yeah, I'd say, and this is sort of the foundation of our company, is that from my perspective, the bottleneck is just the rate of experimentation. So being able to do that as quickly as possible, that's at the heart of why we picked the species zebrafish that we're going to go after first, just being able to experiment very rapidly. And so we're at an early phase, but we are racing, and the immediate bottleneck is shipping of equipment and trying to get to that point where we can be doing experiments rapidly, hundreds, thousands a day. And the hope, our bet, is that will pay off.
So I'm going to shift gears to rewarming. So I guess someone who feels confident in explanation, first let's just start with, why is rewarming harder or riskier than cooling? So what makes the physics and the biology of warming more challenging?
Just trying to explain it to my wife last night too, that when ice is formed, it needs to nucleate and then it needs to grow. And these are sort of stochastic events. The region in which the ice grows is, usually where there's low viscosity, so that new water molecules can join on really easily, and that's kind of higher. And then when you're at a lower temperature, that's when the nucleation is more likely to happen. So when you're cooling, it's not that big of a deal because you're going through this phase where ice could grow, but there's not very many nucleation events. And then you get into the nucleation events, but they can't really grow because it's high viscosity. When you're warming, you're facing a much harder problem. You're going through a region where nucleation events can happen, and now you're going to a less viscous region where now those nucleation sites can now grow really rapidly. So the warming is a harder problem.
So I guess we'll go on to a topic that I feel like there's constant debate about. So hopefully we can have a little debate about it right now. But cryoprotective agents.
Oh, no.
So actually, before we get into the rough and tumble of it, what, if any, progress is being made in developments to new cryoprotective agents? So, is there anything on the horizon that's a paradigm shift, or is it just very slow iterative processes?
Yeah, so two things. Speaking with Greg Fahey recently, he indicated that he does have something new coming out and that he's excited about. So we'll all be hopeful for that. And then in speaking with the cryobiology community, so the people working on the organ transplants and cells and whatnot, I've asked this question sort of explicitly, like, is it that we've looked and there's nothing better out there, or that or something else? And their general conclusion has been that it's just that we are a very small community and we haven't looked, but the hope is that there are better things out there. I mean, I don't know how to reconcile that with the idea that, we've been trying to improve M22, but I mean, maybe the the connections, like the interactions of these CPA components, and the idea that, two toxic, components can interact and become, less toxic than either one of them combined or either one of them alone, and I think vice versa. So there may just be interactions that we're not smart enough for, and the hope is, at least with my company, that AI might be able to help us stupid humans out with this.
I guess for now, M22 seems like the head honcho, but on a practical level, how different is M22 to its closest competitor? So Alcor uses M22, and they insist that it's worth the additional expense. But some of the other orgs, CI and Tomorrow, don't think the trade-off is worth it. So I guess, what would you guys say that the trade-off is between that in your experience? And Mark, I know from the podcast you're doing kind of all these different variables and for what you're looking for cryoprotectants to do are kind of very important for your model. Could you expand a little bit upon the types of variables you're looking for and how different CPAs kind of act?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have much to add there. I'm fairly inexperienced with it, but yeah, it's just we will be optimizing anything that we can there. So cooling rates, if there's any annealing, if we want to do, try to elicit some heat shock protein generation, so we can play with the temperature profile, and then we'll also be optimizing the compositions of the chemicals. I don't think that I have more to say than that. I mean, I would love, this is sort of a call out. We don't have the funds to be doing this, but just being able to have a large data set of physical properties and cryoprotectant components put together. So, viscosity at different temperatures. I supposedly, and this is to answer your question, Ariel, too, I guess glass transition is something that you're able to predict well from the glass transitions of each of the components, or something they compose in an easy formula. But yeah, so I don't have much to answer other than we're going to try to optimize everything.
So research priorities, that everybody can answer this. If you could direct significant new funding, no strings attached, to one priority within research, something other than what you're currently doing, what would it be?
Yeah, I guess I'd say inexpensive, rapid measurement. So something where you don't have to wait, days or whatnot for the imagery to come back, but different measurements, and then this would help science in general, I think, but making it more accessible to the individual scientists to get results quickly of their experiments.